Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Fresh Fire Friday. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me get everything started here, and then we're going to get going real fast. Like and share the video. Share and like the video. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. I'm trying something new today, so it's a little bit of a delay with my system and with your system because I'm trying something new to see if it will work. Let me adjust my camera just a little bit here, and we'll see what happens, and we'll get going. So welcome to Fresh Fire Friday. You may see me. It may look like I'm pointing at my screen a little bit, which actually I am. Give me just a second, and we're gonna get going. And hopefully I won't do anything too bad and too wrong this morning. God bless you. Thank you all for joining us. Good morning to everybody, and thank you so much for joining us this morning for Fresh Fire Friday. Listen, I got some things that I want to discuss this morning, and I'm going to get it out and get it over with and get it off my chest because I believe that these things are important, and I believe that we need to hear them. All right. So I don't have a whole lot of time to get started this morning because I got to finish on time, and so I don't have a lot of time. But so let's go ahead and do this. Let's do this. After I've said good morning to everybody, right? I've said good morning to everybody, and so now I want to get started. Listen, we are there. I may be all over the board this morning, but I hope you kind of get the point. I want you to understand a few things this morning about what we are doing, where we are, and just kind of give you a refresher course. This is with me. This thing is, and y'all please forgive my pauses and things this morning. I'm really trying to just get my thoughts together. I couldn't even sleep last night. My thoughts were kind of all over the board. So I'm praying this morning that God will help me to get my thoughts together as I just continue to work through some things. So last week God was on me about us as people, and I mean believers, about us as believers, and how we have gotten to the point with God to where we don't believe that God is able to do what God said that he would do. Now, I know a whole lot of people will probably disagree with that and would be like, no, that's not true, that's not true. But then God started reminding me of some things and started showing me some things about how as his people, we really do not put the trust in God the way we should put the trust in God. There are things that we could do of our own strength that we will trust ourselves to do it. Say, for instance, if you know people that make a lot of money, when they're making a lot of money, everything is fine with them. But they don't understand that they're not really trusting God. When Jesus looked at them putting the money into the treasury in the temple, and the one lady came with a mite, and Jesus said that this lady had done more than all of them. And the reason why this lady had done more than all of them is because she gave something that she really didn't have the ability to give, but she gave it because she was giving unto the Lord, and she was trusting God with the rest of it. When you have a lot of something, it's easier for you to give. If I came to you and let's talk about like the widow woman who was gathering the sticks, and she was going to cook her and her son a meal, and then they were going to die, and then the man of God came and said, well, cook me a cake first. Well, the problem with that was she was willing to give him the water that he asked for because she had an abundance of water, but she didn't have an abundance of the cake. The thing that she needed, she didn't have an abundance of, so she wasn't willing to share what she did not have the abundance of. But the man of God knew the thing that you don't have the abundance of is the thing that you actually need. And so he simply said to her, share with me from a place where you have great need. Oh, y'all, come on. It's like right now, like this thing. I told you I'm going to be a little bit all over the board, but hopefully in the end I can make some sense out of it. It's like this thing right now. Listen to me, children of God. Listen to me, and listen to me carefully. Because I've talked to too many young people this week who do not believe that it is important to vote. And I don't know where this stuff comes from, but it really saddens me that we have young people who don't believe that it is necessary to vote. And the reason why they don't believe it's necessary is because they believe that their vote does not count. And I'm saying to them, if your vote didn't count, why would people try so hard to stop you from voting? Why would they try and stop you from voting? And I don't care what candidate you vote for. I'm not on here to tell you to elect a particular candidate. That's not my assignment. My assignment is get you to register to vote. We will walk around with things in our head. When things go bad, we want to complain about everybody in office. And we want some kind of legal channel to evict them from office. The legal channel to evict anybody from office is to vote. That is your legal channel. Stop trying to take people to court and kick them out of office. If you don't want them in office, if you don't agree with their politics or their policies, then you need to register to vote. God gave me this thing, this 1 in 10. Every one person that's registered to vote needs to find 10 people that are not registered to vote, get them down there, get them registered to vote, and make sure that they go and vote. Even if your candidate loses, even if the person you support loses, if you go with enough numbers and you show up at the polls, they have got to stop ignoring you because they realize that you can tip the scales one way or the other. And because you think that it's not important for you to vote, you are giving away your vote, and you're giving away a precious right that people have had to die for to get so that you would be able to vote. And stop complaining. Stop telling me how much you're trusting God. You got to trust every process that God has put in place for you to be delivered out of the stuff that you're going through. Things are not going to change if you're praying and then not obeying God. Come on, I'm not even on the soapbox. I'm not even on the soapbox. I'm just trying to tell you right now, if you want real deliverance in this earth, if you want things to change, you have to actively be involved in stuff. What you do not apply to your life will never change about your life. I'm going to say it to you plain and simply. Any changes you refuse to make in your life, you'll never see any change in your life. How are things going to change and you're not willing to make any kind of change? All right. So I'm telling you right now that if you want things to change, you are going to have to start making some changes. And stop telling me that your vote does not count. Can I just speak to the African Americans we have on this line? If your vote didn't count, Joe Biden would not have won in the states that he did win in the process that we have, in the preliminaries that we have going on right now. He would not have won if African Americans didn't turn out. He would not have won. And y'all keep telling me y'all got all these things going on in all of these ways, and y'all keep complaining about all these people that are in office and all of this stuff, and you won't vote for the candidate of your choice. If you get out and vote, you won't even have to complain. No, there are a whole lot of things that are not going to be fair to you. And people don't fear that you go out and buy a gun. I mean, they got more guns than you got. There ain't nobody afraid of you having a gun. They got guns. And then they got the law. All they got to do is pass a law. And they can outlaw your guns. And I know you're saying, well, there are a whole lot of people that commit crimes with illegal guns. But you committing crimes against people, you committing crimes against people that are in the same similar situation that you are. And they don't care, and people don't care anything about that. But if you go out and vote, you have an opportunity to put somebody in office that you are morally and ethically in line with, who can change laws that will help and benefit you and your generations. I don't care who you are or what you do or what particular candidate you support. I'm just telling you that if you want things to be the way you want them to be, then you need to align yourself with, listen, God has a system and we need to work God's system. You can't complain, you got to work it. Go to Isaiah chapter number 26, verse number 18. Let's look at this word. And there you go. Thank you, my wife. You can't change the system that you're dependent upon. If you think they're going to take something away from you, or if they're giving you something that you think that I got to have this. What about depending upon God? What about trusting God? What about believing what God says? What about just trusting God and taking God at his word and just believing God and knowing that God is going to bring you through no matter what it is that you're in? What about us just trusting God? Whatever happened to that? What about just trusting God? Are y'all in Isaiah 26 and 18? Come on. We have been with child. We have been in pain. We have, as it were, brought forth wind. And we have not wrought any deliverance in the earth. Neither have the inhabitants of the world fallen. We have been having false labor pains. We have been talking about all of these great things that God is going to do, and not understanding when Jesus died on the cross, he finished his work. He already did all the great things. What we've been doing is carrying around, we've been in false pregnancy. Can y'all talk to me? We've been having a false pregnancy. We look like we're pregnant, but we've not brought forth anything. We've not wrought forth any deliverance in the earth realm. Listen to me, man and woman of God, pastor of the church. There should not be anybody in your church that's old enough to vote, that's not registered to vote, and that is not voting. And I'm not trying to tell you to stand in your pulpit, because if you got a 501c3, if you're a nonprofit, it's illegal for you to do it. But you shouldn't be standing in your pulpit telling folk who to vote for. But listen to what I'm saying. You should make sure that they're registered to vote and that they get out and vote for the candidate of their choice. Come on. They should get out and vote for the candidate of their choice. And you can't tell. And we're looking for deliverance. And we've been walking around with this false pregnancy. We can't, listen, I believe, this is just my opinion from reading and studying some of the things that Dr. King was doing later on in life. First, Dr. King was on the front line about us getting our civil rights, our ability to get out and vote and to do all of this stuff. And then I believe that after that, later on in his life, he started talking about economic transformation. Because he said any religion, and I'm not quoting him exactly, but any religion that doesn't care about a man's social and economic status in life is a dying religion. It is a dying religion. He used the word moribund. It is a dying religion. Go back and look it up for yourself. It is a dying religion. If we don't teach our people financial literacy and teach them how to be free, I looked at it like this right here. Financial literacy is empowering God's people for peace, well-being, let me say it the way I say it. Empowering God's people for peace, well-being, and prosperity. That's what financial literacy does for God's people. We not only, listen, the rights that you have, you're fighting for your rights incorrectly. You're fighting for your rights incorrectly. You're fighting against people and you won't attack the system. Come on. You're fighting against people, but you won't attack the system. You have to destroy the system in order for the people to change. Oh, come on. This is good this morning. And if you don't attack the system, the people have no need to change. If the system is in place, why would the people need to change? You're asking them to change something that's benefiting them, but you won't participate in the change process. Got to change the system, y'all. Got to change the system. We've got to change the system. And until we get to a point to where we understand that we got to change the system will always continue to be what it is and to do what it's doing. And then the only thing you're going to hold another prayer vigil. You're going to do that. You're going to march somewhere. You're going to do all of this stuff. But the thing that you need to be doing is marching down to voter registration and getting people registered to vote. That should be your number one march. And if you're going to do anything, you need to be getting people registered to vote. All you got to do, listen, if in a one-day period, if 2,000 people around this state go to, I'm talking about 2,000 people wherever they have a voter registration office or whatever. If 2,000 people show up in one day in all of these different counties to show up to register to vote, I guarantee you that's going to be a news story. That's going to be a news story. And then people that are running for office are going to start paying attention to that and start taking note of that. Then they'll start visiting you. Then they'll want to hear what it is that you need changed. I don't care what candidate, what side of the political aisle that they're on. They're all going to show up because they're all going to want to know what you need changed. Because when you start doing that right there, that's what they fear. Because now you're putting together, we're going to use the words that they're using. You're putting together a coalition that they now have to come and respect your coalition. This is how when your votes start counting. They have to respect your coalition and come and talk to you about the things that are challenging you and the things that you want to see change. They now have to talk to you because, listen, you're getting together a coalition that could tip the scales one way or the other. And then when they get in office, you need to hold them accountable for the things that they said that they would do for you. You need to start holding them accountable. Start showing up at the meetings that they're having. Start being active. Start being involved. Start doing these kind of things if you want to see real change. Because right now, all we doing, like God said, all we doing right now is pass and win. There's no deliverance going on. And listen to this right here. This is where it's almost like I'm changing gears right now. And I'm going to shift and I'm going to change gears. Go to Isaiah chapter number 37. Go to Isaiah chapter number 37. I want to show you something. Hopefully, come on, Bible, flip over. Isaiah chapter number 37. Go there with me. I'm trying to get to where I want to be. Yes. This is when the Assyrians were getting ready to attack the people of God. Hezekiah was king. And the Assyrian army had gathered outside of the gates. And the captain of the Assyrian army started to threaten Hezekiah and his people, God's people. He started to threaten them and tell them, look at this right here. All of the people this is what the Assyrian captain was saying. All of the people that we've been to war with, we defeated all of them. We defeated all of their gods. We defeated the people. We defeated everybody. Can't nobody stand against us. But Hezekiah and his people they understood one thing. All of these people, they were no gods. We serve the living God. But one of the statements that they made between Isaiah 36, 37, I think it was somewhere in there, that they said, we have no strength. We have no strength to birth anything. In other words, they say we have no strength to bring forth anything. This is, boy. I'm trying not to get my Sunday sermon in this thing, but it's coming out. It's coming all through me right now. I know I'm just excited because, and I'm not on my soapbox. I'm excited. But listen, they said we have no strength to bring forth a birth. We have no strength to birth anything. Here's what I'm trying to tell you, children of God. When God gives you a vision, when God gives you hope, when God gives you a thing, when you cannot allow that thing to die inside of you simply because the circumstance and the situations speak something different than what God said. Stop listening to your circumstance and situation. This is what Hezekiah told them. When the king of the Assyrian army comes and he says what all he has to say, don't respond to him. Don't give him no response. This is what they did. And I'm paraphrasing right here. They went to church. They went to the man of God. They went to hear what God had to say about it. And the man of God told them, listen, don't worry about this thing. God's going to destroy them. And then when then Hezekiah went before God. He prayed to God. And God, laid some stuff out for him. And God told him, you don't have to worry about them. I'm going to take care of them. Children of God, listen to me. Anything that God, listen, let me tell it to you like this right here. And I'm just going to tell you just the way that God gave it to me. When a woman has a miscarriage Or when a baby dies inside of a woman, they still have to do a surgical procedure to take that baby out of that woman. They have to get rid of it, because if that baby stays inside of that woman, that baby has the possibility of affecting that woman's life. That baby could kill the woman if it dies on the inside of her. This is what God told me. God said, this is what my people are like. I've given them vision and hope, but they've allowed the thing that I've given them to die on the inside of them. And they don't understand the thing that's on the inside of them that they won't birth is actually killing them from the inside. Come on, somebody. Whatever it is that God told you to do, whatever vision God gave you, whatever hope you have in God, stop allowing your circumstances to speak to you. Stop saying that things are never going to change. When you decide to make a change, things are going to change. We trying to change the world and we won't change ourselves. And God is saying that first it has to begin in you. You have to start making some changes. If you want to see some stuff happen, if you want to see some things change, God is saying start with you. Start applying the word to your life so that you can see the change taking place in your life. The biggest representative or the best advertisement that any place can ever receive is from the one who is consuming the thing that's being received. Come on. The consumer is the best advertiser. When you go to a restaurant, they want you to write them a review. They want you to say great things about them, because if you do, other people hear about the great things and other people want to come to the restaurant. You, child of God, when you start applying the word to your life, when you start getting victory in every area of your life, then you become the best advertisement that the kingdom of God has ever had. Because then you get excited about God. You start telling other people about God, and other people start to come into the kingdom. And then we began to make a difference, because listen, one could put how many to flight and two could put how many to flight. Think about what God is saying. When you're just by yourself, you can only do so much. As long as you stay small, you will stay insignificant. And insignificant people have no power. And you have got to understand, there has to be some coming together in this thing. First of all, you got to start applying the word of God to your life. And you got to start doing what God is telling you to do. And you got to, whatever that thing is that's inside of you that's died, God can speak life to it even right now. Even right now, your hope and your vision, you've just allowed this world to beat you down. Listen, you got to stop doing that. You got to stop allowing, listen, when things are speaking to you, when you get your bills, however you get them, if they come electronically or if you get them in the mail, stop looking at them talking about woe is me. They speaking to you and telling you how much you owe them. Speak to them and tell them how your God is going to take care of it. And then I'm teaching financial literacy at our church on Wednesday nights. When you become financially literate, you'll understand it's never been a problem about money. It's been a problem about obedience and discipline with what God has given you. When we get some obedience and some discipline in our finances, you'll understand that these bills that are coming, these things that are talking to you, look, first of all, you'll start paying off the ones that shouldn't be there, and you'll stop creating bills that you shouldn't have. That's what it means to be financially literate. You'll get on a budget. You'll see what you have. And when you prove to God that he could trust you with the talents, then God will give you more. God only gives us based on our ability. Prove to God that you have more ability than what you've been proving, and he'll give you more. And I'm just saying to you right now, child of God, I'm saying to you, child of God, we got to stop passing wind. The one thing I know about flagellants is if it's coming from a sick place, it stinks. Come on. Some of y'all been passing gas. You've been clearing out rooms. Because you have this big vision on the inside of you that's dead. That's just absolutely dead on the inside of you. And I came to tell you today, allow God to speak to you again like he did when you got excited about what he was telling you about what he was going to do in your life. Before you started paying attention to all of the stuff that's going on and everything that's going around in the world, before you started doing all of that stuff, get back to paying attention to what God says about your life. Come on, get your confidence back in God. Get your trust back in God. Come on, God is the only one that can bring you out of that situation. He's the only one that could do it. I wrote down some other scriptures, Proverbs 14 and 12. That there is a way that seems right to a man, but it leads to the way of death. And I'm telling you right now, you've been trusting in yourself and it's not been working. Why don't you just trust in God? Why don't you just trust God? Why don't you just put all of your belief back in him like you did when you were so excited when God first saved you? When you came out of whatever it is that you came out of and you finally gave your life to Jesus. You know how excited you were when you first got saved? Why don't you get back to that same excitement? See, you were excited because God had delivered you out of something. And God is always delivering us, but we're not excited about the deliverance anymore. Some of y'all woke up this morning and don't you understand that that's deliverance in itself? You're breathing right now. That's deliverance in itself. You see another day that some people don't get to see. You've been delivered. Why don't you get excited about what God is doing for you in your life? And women always say it's the little thing. It needs to be the little thing for anybody that's a citizen of the kingdom. We're the bride of Christ. Why are you not excited about the little things that he's doing, or the things that we consider to be the little things that he's doing for us? You could see, you could hear. Those are the little things. Why don't you get excited about those? Why don't you get excited about those? And I need to tell y'all right now that there is no shortcut to success. When they build skyscrapers, there's no shortcut to success. Because if you build that skyscraper incorrectly, you're putting people's lives at risk. And God's not going to do that for you. God says, build this thing a little bit at a time. Build it a little bit at a time. That's why folks are always afraid to invest their money. People are more afraid of losing a dime than they are of gaining a dollar. So they won't invest. Because as soon as things look like they're going bad, and investing in the stock market and all of that stuff, you got to trust God with whatever it is you invest in. But it's proven over the long haul, it makes you more money. If you just put the money there and just trust God, it makes you more money over the long haul. We won't even invest $1 because we're afraid of losing $1, but we'll go to McDonald's today and spend $20. What sense does that make? Instead of going to McDonald's and spending 20, why don't you just spend 10 and invest the other 10? Why don't you start doing stuff like this? Building it a little bit at a time. We're always looking, everybody wants to wake up tomorrow and be a millionaire. You don't even have a millionaire mindset. All you're going to do is waste what you have if your mind is not in the right place. Because you could become an overnight success, but if your brain, if your mind, if your heart is not successful, you're not successful. You're just a fool with money. Yeah, I said it. You're just a fool with money. And God is saying, I'm not going to do that. If you want good success is built by not taking any shortcuts, by doing the work, by having an excellent spirit about everything you're doing and doing everything with excellence. It is about working God's plan for your life and receiving all that God has for you. Man, woman of God that's on this line, I'm telling you right now, y'all share this with your friends. Because that first part about you thinking that what you do doesn't matter, it does matter. Everything that you do, it does matter. That's why people pay attention to what you're doing. That's why sometimes when you start doing stuff, especially when you're doing stuff that's right, that's about to bring about a change, there's something that people are always trying to stop you. Why? Because they understand how important it is, the things that you're doing. So don't ever give up. Get you and your friend. I got this thing, I call it the 1 in 10. If you're one registered voter, find 10 people that are not registered. Get them down there to the registration office. Get them registered to vote. However you need to do it, however it works for you in your county, wherever you are, your state, get them registered to vote. Y'all go vote. Make a difference. Just make a difference, man. Let us stop bringing forth wind. And this ain't, listen, you could think that this message ain't just for black folk. This message is for all people who are citizens of the kingdom of God. I ain't talking about people who go to church. I'm talking about people who are citizens of the kingdom of God, who want the kingdom to go forth in the earth realm, who believe in equality for all people, and who want to see God's rule and God's reign in the earth realm. If y'all want to see it, then we need to start doing what we need to do. Amen. Amen. Y'all, listen, the blessings of the Lord are upon you on this day. Go forth and be a blessing. I challenge you today to start applying the word of God to your life so that God can bring forth, changes in your life. His glory can shine through you, that men and women will want to know what is it that they must do to be saved. And I'm telling you, show God off in your life, in the area of your life. If you've been a bad employee, go to work today and be the best employee that they've ever seen. Change things. Make some changes. Do what's right. God bless you. Y'all have a great day.